All right, guys, so I'm about to pull back the curtain on a video that made over $61,000. I'm gonna take you into my screen and show you the exact video, and I'm gonna show you how I built the entire thing using Claude AI from start to finish. We're talking the idea, the title, the thumbnail, the intro, the script, even the description and tags, all of it, and I'm just gonna hand you the process so that you can copy it yourself. Now, and my community members have done over $100 million combined, so I'm not guessing here. This is the exact system that I'm running today. But before you roll your eyes, no, I'm not gonna tell you to make AI slop and slap it on a faceless channel. That doesn't work in the first place, and even if it does work, it's gonna get you banned or demonetized, and that's game over. All the gurus that tell you make AI slop actually are doing a different type of content themselves, and that is because they're doing what actually works. So instead, I'm gonna be showing you how to use AI as your behind the scenes team while you stay the talent. So if you appreciate me making this type of content and you wanna see me making more of it in the future, then let me know by gently cheersing that like button, and let's jump into it right now. All right, so this is the video right here. As you can see, $62,276.43. It is 9 boring but high-paying online jobs always hiring. It got 6.7 million views. And I'm gonna take you through exactly how I made this video because I used AI, specifically Claude AI, to do almost all of the heavy lifting for this video. Now, before we get into it, I just want to show you this. I'm gonna go ahead and refresh the screen. It's still $62,000. I'm also gonna go to settings here, and you can see that if I change this to, let's just say, new Taiwan dollar, now it says $2 million. So, you know, one video made $2 million. I'm a millionaire from one video. But, you know, this is some of the little guru tricks that they use when they change stuff like that. So don't let them do that. So that was Taiwan dollar. Looks like Jamaican dollar is another one here, right? So Jamaican dollar is even more, 9 million from one video, right? So definitely don't do that. Don't fall for some of these fake guru screenshots that people, you know, drop on Instagram or whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna go back and select US dollar, save, and as you can see, $62,276.43. And again, this is just from AdSense alone. If you count the money that I made outside of AdSense, it's far, far more than this. Now, here is the part that nobody shows you because I didn't sit in a dark room agonizing over this for, 3 days, spending like 60 hours on each video. I used Claude AI for every single step. And back when I made this video, I used very advanced Claude prompts. But now you have something even better, which is called Claude skills. So you can think of a skill kind of like a specialist that you have trained who already knows exactly how you like things done, right? And you can have one for ideas, one for titles and thumbnails, one for scripts. And I basically just open up the right one and I go. Now I'm gonna drop free starter versions of these in the description, either the prompt or the skill. And I'm gonna do this so that you can follow along. But the only catch is the real ones are customized to me and my channel. And inside of my community, we customize them for you and your channel as well. So we'll get to that later on. But one thing that I wanna say, and I wanna make this very clear, I don't care what the AI gurus say. If you have AI generate the entire video and just upload it, you will get demonetized or banned, almost 100%, right? 100% AI content is a death sentence on YouTube. Plus, it's probably not even gonna work in the first place. So everything I'm about to show you keeps you, your voice, your face, your judgment in the driver's seat, right? AI is the assistant, not the talent. And if you're the type to upload pure AI slop, then cry about demonetization, that is on you, not on the algorithm. YouTube has made their stance on that type of content very, very clear. And a general rule of thumb is just think, does this video cause a good viewer experience? If the answer is no, you probably shouldn't do it. All right, so step one, let's talk about the idea. So this is the most important step because a great video built on a bad idea is gonna go absolutely nowhere 99.9% of the time. Doesn't matter if it's the best script on earth, the best editing, the best studio that you recorded in. If it has a bad idea, you're probably gonna get about 47 views if you're lucky, and the video is gonna be done. So I don't guess. I use Claude AI to help me find the right video ideas. And whether you're using a prompt or a skill, it's going to run what I call the icon method, and it's very simple. Find a video that already did well, over 100,000 views, but came from a small channel, under 30,000 subs, and honestly wasn't even that well made, if possible, right? So either mediocre or preferably bad. Then you steal the idea, not the title, not the thumbnail, just the idea, and you make a better version, right? So that is proof of concept. The idea already showed that it can pop. You're just the one who's gonna do it right. And a proven idea is gonna beat your clever, creative idea that you think is a good idea nearly every single time, unless you're some kind of YouTube genius, right? So this was the original video that gave us the idea. Of course, we changed the title up just a little bit. We put a little bit of a different angle on it just because of the fact that I think people in this space in general are just a little too positive, or at least at the time I made this video, they were a little bit too positive about remote jobs. And don't get me wrong, remote jobs are amazing, but it's not all butterflies and rainbows and sunshine, right? There are some downsides to remote jobs. A lot of them are pretty boring. And so I basically made the title a little bit more of a negative, or really just more of a realistic angle. And here is the title that we landed for on ours. Now, the way that I found this title is I actually asked AI to make me like 10 different titles, and then I just chose my favorite one. And this exact title was one of those 10 titles. So AI did make the title. But remember, I was the one who actually chose it out of the 10 that it suggested, okay? So there's still some human involvement here. Now, here's how you start today. Open Claude, paste in the free idea finder prompt from the description, right? Just click that link in the description in the pinned comment below and you'll get it. And then it really depends on the niche, but just have it pull videos in your niche that went over 100K views from channels under 30K subs. Pick one proven idea. Don't copy the title. Copy the concept, but then make it better. Now, when it comes to actually looking for video ideas, I do recommend using one of the higher level Claudes. So use the highest model available. And for this particular step, I do actually prefer to use Claude Code if possible. You don't have to, but Claude Code I have found does a little bit of a better job with this step. Most of the other steps actually do not require Claude Code. We typically create a Claude project for most of those other steps. Now, by the way, you might be thinking, but Shane, I don't want to show my face like you showed your face in this video. You don't have to, okay? Here's an example, the organic chemistry tutor. I don't believe this person has ever showed their face on this channel. It is literally just readily available information, concepts about science, math, etc., that is readily available on the internet, and they just recorded it, put it in video format, and it's absolutely crushing for them. They're making over $87,000 a month. And let's go to latest video. They have not uploaded a video in 3 months. Okay, so they are passively making $87,000 a month just from AdSense alone. Absolutely crushing it. So this brings us to step 2. Now here's something that most people don't realize, right? The title, the thumbnail, and the intro all come out of the same tool. And I call this tool the holy trifecta, because those are the 3 things that actually get the click. If you nail them, you're gonna be 90% there. I run it once and it hands me all 3. Watch. Now, by the way, when I talk to AI, I usually don't type. I actually usually just use the voice command feature. So I like using Whisper Flow, but you can also just use the inbuilt voice command feature on Claude. The reason I use Whisper Flow is because it just lasts a little bit longer. I think I can do 20-minute what I like to call yap sessions, whereas Claude only lasts a few minutes. And I think that Whisper Flow is just a bit more accurate as well. So boom, title options, every one built off of the proven idea with the keyword locked in, like I said before, and I selected my favorite title. And a handful of the intro options I can tweak to sound like me. Now, fun fact here, the intro that you just watched was built the exact same way. Very meta, I know. Now, what I like to do is I actually like to have it make multiple intros at once. Usually I'll do somewhere between 3 to 5 intros, and then I'll just choose my favorite one. I call this the anti-fragile script writing methodology. And basically what that means is I know that AI is never gonna write 100% perfect script the very first time. And so I actually built into the methodology the mistakes, right? If I just ask it to write one intro, chances are I'm not gonna like that one intro. But if I ask it to write 3 to 5 intros, I will probably like 1 out of the 3 to 5. Then the next thing it's gonna do is it's gonna give you the idea for the thumbnail. Now, this is the one downside of Claude right now. Claude is not as good as the other models, specifically ChatGPT as well as Gemini, or more specifically Nano Banana with Gemini, when it comes to thumbnail creation. It is an unfortunate downside, but Claude is really good at actually telling you what to put on the thumbnail. In fact, I would say it's likely even better than the other models. So it can tell you kind of where to put the face, it can tell you what text to put on the thumbnail, what visuals to use on the thumbnail, et cetera, et cetera. But then I do typically recommend that you actually just go over to ChatGPT or Gemini and make the thumbnail there. Now, currently, we think that ChatGPT is the best. So we're gonna take the instructions for this thumbnail. We're gonna take a picture of me. We're We're going to go over to ChatGPT, paste in the instructions and the picture, and it is going to create a very nice thumbnail for us. Now, is this thumbnail absolutely perfect? No. Is this as good as a world-class thumbnail designer is going to make? No. It's probably about an 8 out of 10. But 8 out of 10 is a heck of a lot better than the thumbnail that you're gonna make if you're a beginner. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. Thumbnails take a lot of practice to get really good at, and an 8 out of 10 is way better than the thumbnail that almost any beginner out there is gonna make. In my opinion, people are notoriously bad at making thumbnails when they are a beginner on YouTube. They don't understand what a good thumbnail looks like. But if you follow these directions, you are gonna get yourself an 8 out of 10 thumbnail. And remember, it's the idea that does the heavy lifting, so your thumbnail doesn't have to be a 10 out of 10 if you choose the right idea. So yeah, this thumbnail is really good. I like it. We're gonna move on. Now, by the way, one thing that I didn't go over is actually picking your niche. And the reason for that is because it's very personalized and it would require an entire training. With that being said, I am actually doing a live training this week where we are going to actually be going over exactly how to pick the right niche. So click the link in the description and the pinned comment below to attend that. Quick break, I'm gonna be doing a live training this week on how to start YouTube step-by-step for beginners. This is gonna be for people who want to start a channel, but they don't know what niche to pick, what videos to make, or how to actually get started the right way. And it's a completely free training, no strings attached. In fact, I'm giving away even more bonuses at this training. Just as an example, I'm gonna be giving away my niche validator, which works for ChatGPT, as well as Claude Skills, which is a super valuable piece of software where you can finally figure out what the best niche for you is. So, do not miss out on this training. Make sure you sign up for it down in the description and the pinned comment below because you only get it if you join the training. So if you don't join now, you might miss out on it forever. But that being said, in the workshop, you'll get to meet me and you'll get to ask me questions directly. So I look forward to seeing you. So click the link in the description and the pinned comment below this week. Make sure you put it on your calendar. And if for whatever reason you missed out on it or you weren't able to attend, make sure you still click that link because we might be having workshops in the future as well. And you'll be the first to know about it. So yeah. Hope to see you there. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. All right, so next step is the script. And this is the part that you absolutely cannot skip because it's where most people lose. And they think using AI for the script means letting a robot write the whole thing while they read it like a hostage. No, here is the part that actually matters. Every good video needs what I like to call alpha, okay? And before anyone gets the wrong idea, alpha has nothing to do with being some, alpha male, none of that nonsense, right? Alpha is a term that comes from the finance world. It means your edge, right? It means the return that you get above the market, the thing that nobody else is giving them. Now, here's the difference in real life. For this boring jobs video, lazy AI gives you, here are 9 online jobs. It's very generic, and the viewer is instantly gonna think, I could have asked a chatbot that myself. The alpha was finding 9 actually good remote jobs that were really, truly hiring, right? Real openings, posted recently. That is the value that people can't get anywhere else. Okay, now you don't have to do remote jobs. There's a million different things you can do out there. So you're either an expert and you can talk about stuff because of the fact that you're an expert, or you're not an expert, but the thing is, there's lots of amazing written content online, but the problem is most people don't like to consume content in the written form. They would much rather consume content. Over 80% of people would much rather consume content in video format. So what you can do is you can find amazing content that's in written form and then bring it over to video format. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. There's lots of job boards online that post jobs all the time. And you can take that information, which is in written format, and bring it over to video mode. And of course, the best video mode is YouTube. And it's not just this niche, there's millions of niches out there that are exactly like this, right? So for instance, if you're in the news niche, you would probably be on Twitter a lot. News typically happens very, very fast on Twitter or X. And you could take that news that's happening on Twitter or X and bring that over to video as fast as you possibly can. And that would be your version of alpha. But the whole point is you want to find something that isn't just generic AI slop that Claude or one of the other AIs is gonna make, right? And yeah, I do use Claude to help me find them, and you can definitely do that, but not by typing find me good jobs, right? If you do that, you're gonna get garbage. You have to use your brain a little bit, right? Tinker with it and program the edge in. That's the part the robot can't do for you. So we put alpha in almost every single video, especially when we make these types of videos specifically. Sometimes it's real vetted jobs. Sometimes it's real people who actually made money with a side hustle. Not here's a side hustle, but here's the person that actually made money with it and here's the receipts. And showing people actual real examples makes makes people know, like, and trust you. And it actually gives them value other than something that they could have just looked up on the chatbot themselves. Now, I'm not going to show you exactly what we do to find these jobs because I don't want a bunch of copycats here. Find your own way of doing this, but I will just give you a hint here. There are some really good remote job websites out there, such as Flex Jobs. Flex Jobs is a great one. They basically curate really good remote jobs, and you can see which jobs companies are posting all the time, right? If a bunch of companies are constantly posting about hiring certain positions, you can see that very easily. So the demand is built in, and you literally are telling people the exact jobs that companies are posting for. Therefore, you know there's a lot of demand for them. Another thing you can do is you can look up stuff on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a lot of good job posts as well. And you can see some really good data on there on what jobs are the most popular. Another really good website is Indeed.com, et cetera, et cetera. And you can actually have Claude scrape these websites and find which jobs are the best and which jobs are being posted a lot. And now I'm going to feed all of that, the idea, the alpha, and the quick brain dump of my thoughts into the scriptwriter skill. And it's going to build the structure and draft it in my voice. Oh, and the first item, I usually like to put some sort of weird pattern interrupt as the first item. And the thing that I want them to think is, whoa, this is not a generic video that's just like every other video I've ever watched on the internet that's going to recommend that you get a data entry job or something like that. So you'll notice that in this video that I posted that got over 6 million views, the very first job was a funeral sales specialist. That is a pretty weird job. It's a little morbid. It's definitely a pattern interrupt. And I want them to think that this guy is different. This guy is not just doing generic AI slop. This person actually put a lot of thought and research into the video. First on the list is going to be a funeral sales specialist. And listen, I know what you're thinking. It sounds very boring and also pretty morbid. But the truth is, somebody's got to do it. Now, one more thing you can have the script do is you can have it write the script in such a way where it's teleprompter friendly if you're using a teleprompter. Now, there's a lot of different ways to record. Teleprompter is one of them, of course. You can also just show your screen and kind of look at your screen, kind of like I'm doing right now. You can also just do outline and then sort of riff. My personal favorite way to record is I do usually write everything word for word, but then I kind of riff a lot of the time. So I kind of go 50% off the script, 50% off the top of my head. So the big way to think about this is the bones of it are the AI, but the alpha and the soul are you. So to start, before writing a single line, find your alpha, right? One real specific can't Google in 5 seconds thing, a vetted list, a real example, a number that nobody else has, then run the free script prompt with the alpha baked in and rewrite it in your own voice. Now, one pro tip when it comes to script writing is I like to do what's known as yap sessions. These will usually last anywhere from a few minutes, or in some videos, it might last a lot longer than that. But these are basically where I literally just talk to the AI and I give it an idea of what I want the video to look like. I might give it some references from other videos about things that I liked in those other videos, and I just tell it what I want the video to look like and what I want the script to look like as well. And I usually just yap off the top of my head, and this does two things. One, it lets AI know how you actually talk naturally. And so when it writes the script, it's going to write it in such a way where it sounds like the way that you actually sound, right? So it's not going to sound like generic AI slop. And then two, it's going to add more of your voice into the content. So it's going to add your own opinions and your voice into the content. So the script that it comes out with is likely going to be something that you actually agree with and like, because the source is you. All right, step 4 is recording. And if you scripted it right, the recording becomes stupid easy because the script's already teleprompter friendly. Now, I personally use an Elgato teleprompter. I really like using it. That's actually what's in front of me right now. I'm not really using it as much for this video. I did use it a little bit on the intro, but not as much for this video just because I'm looking at the screen. But even if you're reading the teleprompter, like I'm technically reading the teleprompter right now, it looks like I am just staring at the camera because I am. And it really looks like I memorized the whole thing, even though I promise you I didn't. Now, if you don't have a pro camera setup, you don't have a teleprompter, I get it. I'm guessing most people watching this don't have that, and that's completely fine. What I recommend that you do is you use the app Descript. And just as an example, one of my clients, Nurse Jen, literally just used her laptop and the webcam on her laptop and the app Descript, and her channel absolutely blew up. She's got a couple videos that are over 500,000 views right now. And she's making a full-time income from YouTube, and she just started just a couple months ago. And so Descript has a recording feature and a teleprompter feature built in. And so if you put the script right next to where the actual webcam is, so at the very top, it will literally look like you are looking at the camera even though you're technically reading from a teleprompter. And that is exactly what Nurse Jen did, and she's absolutely crushing it with a simple setup like that. And that's another thing, don't overthink the setup. Start with your laptop, start with the phone. That's where almost every successful YouTuber started. Now, if for whatever reason you can't use your laptop, maybe your computer doesn't have a camera, you've got a desktop, whatever. Another really good one that you can use is what's known as the teleprompter app on your phone. So the teleprompter app is another one where you can just put the script into the teleprompter app. You can record with your phone, you can look at the phone while you're recording, and you can just read the words that are going down, and you can have it automatically go down at a pace that you're comfortable with. Okay, this brings us to the next step, which is step 5, which is editing. So for editing, I recommend using the same exact tool, which is Descript. And I'll be blunt, it is the best AI editing tool out there right now. And I've basically tried all of them, and the rest pretty much suck. At least they suck for talking head style content like this. And if that changes, I'll tell you, but it hasn't yet. So part of Descript's AI editing feature is it cuts out your silences. It cuts out your mistakes. It cleans up the audio with AI. It makes the audio sound really good, even if your audio sucks. And the wild part is you edit the video like you're editing a Google Doc, right? You delete a sentence in the text and it deletes it from the video. Additionally, when it cuts out silences and stuff like that, it does it in a very smooth way. Almost all of the other AI editors cut it and the editing is super choppy and it just does not look good. But Descript does it in a really smooth way. So Descript is what I recommend all of my beginner students start off with. It is super easy to use. Probably the oldest person in your family could easily learn how to use Descript and edit with it. Whereas something like Adobe Premiere Pro, sure, you can do more with it, but it's way harder to edit with. Now, of course, you can also just hire an editor, or you can just do super minimalist editing. And honestly, editing is not nearly as important as most people think. The idea and the alpha wins. Fancy cuts will not save a boring video. So don't spend too much time on the editing process. Just make sure there's no awkward silences or mistakes or you repeating things or anything like that. So to start here, drop your recording into Descript, run the remove filler words and the silence trim. We like to set the silence trim to about 0.5 seconds or so, sometimes 0.75 seconds if you talk a little bit slower. Then read through the transcript and delete any sentence that you don't want. It will pull it from the video automatically, export it, and then you're done. All right, step 6 is to upload and optimize your video. Okay, so everyone either rushes this or they waste an entire afternoon on it, and you really don't want to do either. So the descriptions, the tags, the pinned comment, you can have Claude write all of it, optimized in like 2 minutes. And this matters more than you think. It is how YouTube figures out who to show your video to. Now, here's the one thing that actually trips people up though. The wrong settings on your channel, and I'm serious, I've seen one wrong setting be the only thing holding someone back, okay? It literally happened to my own brother. I had to go dig through his channel and figure out what was off. And if you're not aware, I basically documented the entire process of taking my 50-year-old brother and growing his YouTube channel from 0 to a full-time income in less than a month. And his very first video that we posted blew up, got over 800,000 views, and he was making a full-time income in less than a month. He's absolutely crushing it. But what ended up happening, unfortunately, is he started watching all these goofball YouTube videos about YouTube settings, and he turned this thing on called Player for Education. And pretty much the moment he turned that on, his views plummeted, his AdSense plummeted, and it was really, really bad for his channel. Now, the thing about Player for Education is that particular setting is really good for academic content that is meant to be watched in a classroom. Right? That is what Player for Education is for. And his content was a little bit educational, a little bit academic, but it wasn't really meant to be watched in a classroom. And so when he did that, that really messed the algorithm up and it screwed his channel up. And we had to fix that for him, which we did. But I have seen people mess with the settings before and screw it up, and either not having the right button pushed or having the wrong button pushed can actually stop your channel from having success. I've also had other clients come in and all of their views are coming from like India for some reason. And again, it's because they messed up the settings. So don't agonize over the upload, but get it done and make sure it's done right and move on to the next video. Oh, and by the way, after you post the video and make it live, you can also use Claude to analyze and mine your comments automatically. And then it can tell you what your audience wants next so that your next idea is already half done. And that is the whole loop. Idea all the way to upload and right back into the next idea. Every arrow you see there, that is Claude AI doing the heavy lifting underneath me. Now, to start with this part, run the free upload prompt to generate your description, your tags, and your pinned comment. Of course, you want to put your video title in there to get that, and then double check your channel's monetization and visibility setting one time. okay? Upload, then paste your comments into the comment mining prompt to find your next video. So let me bring this all the way back. That one video did over $61,000, $62,000 to be exact. And the secret is honestly kind of boring. I use the right tool for every single step so that I could move faster, stay consistent, and put real alpha in every video without burning out and without turning into a slop channel. Speed, consistency, doing the right video ideas, and of course, making them actually valuable, aka finding some sort of alpha that isn't just AI slop. That is the actual cheat code to doing well on YouTube, and it always has been. And listen, I am not special, right? I'm really not. I just have a system, and you literally just watched the whole thing, and you can go copy it now. But real quick, before I go, I know that 99% of you watching this are just gonna enjoy my free content. You're gonna attend my live trainings, which you absolutely should, because I'm gonna be giving away the niche validator. It's another Claude skill, probably my most popular Claude skill of all time. And you can check that out in the description in the pinned comment below. But 99% of you are gonna do all that, get all the free content, get a ton of value from us, attend the live training where you can literally ask me questions, I'll answer them, plus I'll teach you step by step how to get started on YouTube, but we're never going to end up working together, and that is completely fine. I always want to give way more value than I receive. But for the 1% of you out there that are very serious about growing and making money on YouTube, we do work with people one-on-one. We have a one-on-one coaching program, and we have a done-for-you system as well, where we literally just do the work for you. So if you are very serious about growing and making money on YouTube, you want to do it fast, you don't want to waste 3 years trying to figure it out on your own, banging your head against the wall, then go ahead, click the link in the description in the pinned comment below to book a call. On this call, we'll figure out where you are right now, where you want to be, we'll make a plan to get there, and we'll see if we're a good fit to work together or not. We only accept about 18% of people who apply, but we do have room for about 3 to 5 people in the program right now. Now, the types of people we typically work with are business owners who want to use YouTube to get more leads and grow their brand and just make a ton of money from their business, both online business owners as well as some types of physical, like in-person business owners, right? We've seen a lot of success with different realtors, like real estate type businesses. We've seen a lot of success with law firms, dental cosmetic clinics, financial advisors, insurance people, et cetera, those types of local or localized businesses. But of course, it works for basically any type of online business or any type of service business. The second type of person we work with are YouTubers who are getting a lot of views, but they're struggling with monetization. The third type of person we work with are YouTubers who are crushing it, but they want to crush it even harder. And the fourth type of person we work with are people who are very serious about growing and making money on YouTube. They're typically professionals or experts, people who are relatively successful in their careers, and they're very serious about growing and making money on YouTube, and they want to treat it like a business. That's what all 4 of those different types have in common. They all want to treat YouTube like a business. So if that sounds like you, go ahead and click that link in the description and the pinned comment below to apply. And also check out this video right here where I go over exactly how we helped my brother grow his YouTube channel step by step, and we documented the entire process and helped him make a full-time income.